Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Marin, and this is my mock interview for AVIT 485 Aviation Capstone.
Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult teammate or coworker. How did you handle it? Desc-
So, a time I had to deal with a difficult teammate or coworker would be while I was employed at Cirrus Aircraft, where I'm currently working. We had a team member who was underperforming based on what was expected of everyone. The situation was we needed to meet our goals every night that our supervisor set for us, and we weren't meeting them due to this certain individual. Furthermore, I pulled him aside, talked to him, asked him how can I help, what was going on, trying to get a good gauge of the situation and why the underperforming was a constant issue that was happening. As a result, he started performing on par with everyone else, and we were able to meet our goals and exceed them on some nights.
Describe a situation where you made a mistake. What did you learn from it? Give
A situation where I made a mistake would also be at Cirrus Aircraft. While I was working in jet large parts, I accidentally left backing on one of the plies. What happened due to that was the part had to go to repairs, which takes time and money from everyone involved with the company. The action I took from that was I started counting the backing and double checking my work when I lay down a ply, making sure that there's nothing on it, ensuring that I'm not dropping or adding any FOD to any of the items that we were making. And as a result, I learned to be more thorough with my work, always double check, and I've haven't had another incident of that happening since the first one occurred.
Give an example of a time you had to prioritize multiple tasks. How did you manage your time? Tell me.
So, a time I had to manage multiple tasks would have also been at Cirrus Aircraft. We had many different tools that had to get done throughout the night. Um, what I did was I looked at the schedule, determined what was more priority and what had to be finished first before the others. And as a result, we finished everything on time with minimal issues. And our supervisor and leadership was very happy with our work.
Tell me about a time when you had to make a decision in a high pressure situation. Des-
A time I had to make a decision in a high pressure situation would be back in my time in the military. We were in Iraq in 2017, and the weather conditions outside were horrible, and they wanted us to launch one of our drones to provide overwatch on a convoy. Um, what I did, my action was we prepared the aircraft, we did the risk management matrix, we sent the risk management matrix up to higher leadership, and they assumed the risk of flying the aircraft in such weather. And as a result, we launched. We were able to provide overwatch, and we had minimal issues with the flight. The drone returned safely, and there was no issues bigger than that.
Describe a time when you had to give someone difficult feedback. How
A time I had to give someone difficult feedback would have been also in the military. I was an instructor operator, so my job was to progress people from readiness level 3 to 1 and aircraft commander AC. And I was progressing someone from readiness level 2 to 1. It was their check ride, so to say. They ended up not passing, so the action I took was I talked to them. We went over their deficiencies. I told them what areas they were lacking in and what they needed to improve upon. And as a result, the next time I gave them the test, so to say, they passed with no issues and they were able to progress to the next RL level.
how did you approach it? Tell me about a time you stepped up as a leader. Tell me have you
A time I stepped up as a leader, that would be also my time in the military. The situation was the current instructor operator, who wasn't me at the time, was leaving the unit, and they needed another one. The instructor operator course for my MOS was known to be very difficult. I was also going to college online at the time, but I decided to volunteer to go. And as as a result, I went, passed with no issues, along with two others, and met the unit's need and had no issues with IOs after that.
Have you ever had to deal with someone breaking safety protocol? What did you What did you do? Describe.
So at Sirius, we did have someone who did not wear the proper safety goggles while using a piece of material. The situation is if he got the material in his eyes, he could be permanently blinded. So, as an action, I pulled them aside, spoke with them briefly, kind of talked to them, just explained to them how losing your eyesight isn't worth, the 5 seconds it takes to put on safety goggles. As a result, he wore them. We didn't have any issues going further, and we promoted safety.
Describe a time you went above and beyond for a teammate or customer. Tell me.
The time I went above and beyond for a teammate or customer would also be my time at Cirrus. The situation was we had a part that was behind due to another shift. Um, it needed to get done by the end of our shift, so that way the next shift could pick up the next tool that needed to be completed. The action I took was I stayed later and worked harder that night, along with a couple other teammates, and we ended up, as a result, finishing the tool and getting the next one prepared for the next shift with no issues.
Tell me about a goal you set and how you achieved it. How
A goal I set for myself was coming to UND to get my pilot certificates, all of them, and graduate. How I achieved it, I'm still currently enrolled, as you know, but I studied hard, ensured that I did everything with utmost care and put all my effort into it. And as a result, I have 2 more semesters left. I'm getting pretty close to finishing up my CFI. So that is how I achieved that.
How do you stay motivated during challenging or repetitive tasks?
How I stay motivated during challenging or repetitive tasks. So at Cirrus, we pretty much do the same thing every day. We build the same tools. It's the same layup every single day. I really look to other members of my team and kind of just think about how what I'm doing matters, and that helps motivate each other. And as a result, everyone's fairly happy doing the same tasks every day. Everyone's pretty motivated, and we all get along very well. And that is it for my mock interview oral for AVIT 485 Capstone. Thank you for your time.